Scenes from the Pacers flipping the script in Game 6, posting and toasting.
On the lane, stuffs that one home and one, and Indiana up 13-9. Josh Harts, now watch closely, an abdominal injury on the follow-up to the free throw there, stays in the game. Later in the first, Josh Harts on the ground going after the loose ball. He eventually gets it to Dante DiVincenzo. He hits the three. New York up by 5. Obi Toppin, the former Knick, drains the three there. Indiana had 11 bench points in the first quarter, and there's Toppin again in the second, dropping in a jam, and Indiana's up by 2. Pascal Siakams spins.
Tonight, the New York Knicks return to Indiana. In the second quarter, the Pacers' strong defense, a 17-2 run, and poor Knicks free throw shooting resulted in a 61-51 halftime lead for Indiana. Sometime during the first half, Josh Harts suffered an abdominal injury that would remove him from the game. For a team dealing with too many injuries, this one would prove too much to overcome. In the third quarter, despite Jalen Brunson snapping a scoring drought, the Knicks struggled to defend and rebound with Josh Harts injured, finishing the quarter down 88-75. In the fourth quarter, the Knicks struggled defensively and offensively, fell even further behind, and ended the night with a 116-103 loss. For the Pacers, Pascal Siakams scored 25 points on 11 of 21 shooting, and his length was a problem all night. Let's keep that streak alive, Knickerbockers. First half. Jalen Brunson scored New York's first 4 points, and Deuce McBride swished a bomb to keep the Knicks in step with the Pacers. Early on, a lot of contact went unwhistled, raising the ire of the Indiana faithful. Meanwhile, McBride made each of his first 3 shots from deep, plus a coast-to-coast bucket for 11 first-quarter points to lead the team. The guy who barely played before January 1st has become crucial to the Knicks' postseason ambitions. Yet another compelling storyline in a magical season. In Q1, the Knicks were determined to score from deep, firing 12 three-pointers to 7 by the Pacers. Both teams enjoyed 5-point leads and grabbed 5 offensive boards in the frame. By the buzzer, New York sat on a 30-29 advantage. Early in the game, Andrew Nembhard appeared to give Josh Harts an inadvertent shot to his abdomen. Tonight they missed 7 first-half freebies, while the Pacers inched their lead up to 13 thanks to a 17-2 run. In the half, the Pacers had outshot the Knicks, 57% to 42%, and out-rebounded them 25-21. In the paint, Indiana had buried the visitors, 40-16. New York's McBride and Hoosier Pascal Siakam had 15 points apiece to lead all scorers. Second half. Andrew Nembhard received a tech on the cusp of intermission, and Jalen Brunson made the free throw to start the second half. He broke his streak of whiffs to finally score a bucket, and New York briefly had the lead before Indiana restored and increased it. In the third frame, a shortage of defensive stops put the pressure on the Knicks to score, and missed rebounds meant that most of their offensive possessions were one-and-dones. The deficit reached 18. Meanwhile, Josh Harts sat for an extended period, cradling his aching middle. For a team with so many key players injured, in Q4, the game devolved into dog diarrhea without Harts, who retreated to the locker room with abdominal soreness. The Knicks made small inroads, and Jalen cut the hole to 16 with a corner 3 at the 4-minute mark. Ultimately, they had to work too hard for their buckets, and they lacked muscle at the other end to prevent the Pacers from scoring. At 3.39, Thibs waved the white flag, substituting Shake Milton, Jericho Sims, Mamadi Duckite, and Daquan Jeffries into the game. When the final buzzer buzzed, the damage was 116-103. Up next. This one stung. On to a do-or-die Game 7 on Sunday afternoon. Safe travels, Knickerbockers.